Imagine if a simple, widely available allergy nasal spray could dramatically cut your risk of catching COVID-19. But here's where it gets controversial. A recent study suggests exactly that, revealing that Azelastine, an antihistamine nasal spray commonly used for hay fever, might reduce COVID-19 infections by an impressive 69%. This finding, published in JAMA Internal Medicine, comes from a single-center, randomized controlled trial that marks the first time such a protective effect has been demonstrated in a real-world environment. Azelastine is not a new drug. It's an over-the-counter remedy many people rely on during allergy season. However, this clinical trial, led by Dr. Robert Bowles from Saarland University in Germany, took a fresh look at its potential beyond allergies. The study involved 450 healthy adults aged 18 to 65, with an average age of 33 and two-thirds being women. None of the participants showed signs of infection or tested positive for SARS-CoV-2 at the start. Participants were split into two groups. 227 used Azelastine nasal spray 3 times daily for 56 days, while 223 used a placebo spray on the same schedule. The results were striking. Only 2.2%, 5 people in the Azelastine group contracted COVID-19, compared to 6.7%, 15 people in the placebo group. This translates to a 69% reduction in infection risk, with an odds ratio of 0.31 and an 85% confidence interval ranging from 0.11 to 0.87. But the benefits didn't stop there. Among those who did get infected, the Azelastine group experienced a longer average time before infection, 31.2 days versus 19.5 days in the placebo group. Additionally, the number of PCR-confirmed symptomatic infections was significantly lower in the treatment group, 21 cases, compared to the placebo group, 49 cases. Interestingly, Azelastine also reduced rhinovirus infections, which cause the common cold, with only 1.8% affected in the treatment group versus 6.3% in the placebo group during the study period. Safety is always a concern with any medication, but adverse events were similar between both groups, suggesting Azelastine is well tolerated even when used over nearly 2 months. The study authors emphasized that Azelastine's established safety profile, supported by existing formulations for allergic rhinitis, makes it a promising candidate for longer-term use as a preventive measure against respiratory viruses. This nasal spray targets the nasal mucosa, the lining inside the nose, which is a primary entry point for respiratory viruses like SARS-CoV-2 and rhinoviruses. This mode of action could be especially valuable in environments where multiple respiratory viruses circulate simultaneously, such as during cold and flu seasons. However, not everyone is ready to jump on the bandwagon just yet. In a commentary published alongside the study, Doctors Samuel Vidal and Dan Baroch from Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center in Boston praised the findings as promising, but urged caution. They pointed out the need for further research, especially involving adults with underlying health conditions, who are often at higher risk for severe COVID-19. They also highlighted the challenge posed by constantly evolving virus variants and vaccines that primarily target the virus's spike protein, which can change over time. Could targeting the nasal mucosa be a game-changer in our fight against COVID-19 and other respiratory infections? Vidal and Baroch suggest it might be, especially if larger Phase 3 trials confirm these results. The advantages are clear. Azelastine is easy to use, affordable, and available without a prescription. But this raises a provocative question. Should we start relying on nasal sprays like Azelastine as a frontline defense, or is this approach too simplistic, given the complexity of viral infections? What do you think? Could Azelastine nasal spray become a staple in our pandemic toolkit, or is more skepticism warranted? Share your thoughts and join the conversation below.